Did you know that 98% of South Africans can never retire? Like so many people, Denis started from the bottom, coming from a home that was never wealthy. He aspired for more. He grew up reading the inspirational books such as Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, which is one of his favorites. He realized that the only way to be self-sustainable is to have assets, so he became a self-made investor with a proud asset base. He's always happy and eager to share the lessons he has learned and to teach people how they can also reach their greatest potential and become self-sustainable. And that is why we're here today, to speak to the man himself. Good day, Mr. Denis. How are you doing?
Good, and you, Rochelle?
Good. Now, you can basically retire at the age of 47. How does that happen?
Well, I started at a young age to invest in property, but also to invest right, the right manner, in the right structures and all of that. And I think that's very important for young investors who's out there in the market. But
now, where does one start?
Yeah, I would say there's a lot of young people that struggle to start because it's difficult to start investing when you're young. But I would say start investing with friends, with family. Just start. Don't wait. Because in property, it's better to start than to wait, because property grows in value. It grows in rental income, so it's always important just to start.
Do you ever invest in annuities at all?
I do. Obviously, for my taxable income, I do that, but not a lot. I rather invest in property because I also use structures like Article 13, where SARS will pay 55% of my property for me. They pay that for me, and then also my tenant also pays an amount to that property. So it's very important to know these structures, know how to invest. At the end of the day, that use other people's money, other people's time to invest in property.
So what's the difference between annuity and investing in income producing properties?
The difference between annuity incomes and property is that annuity incomes, you have to invest a certain amount of your money per month to a company, a financial company, a retirement fund, and you will only be able to get access to that money once you turn 55 or 60 years old, depending on the retirement fund and the policies and procedures on that. So you will only be able to get your hands on that. That income or that money is at that company, and they will manage that money until you're 55 or 60 years old. Where in property, you can invest and you can earn that money on a monthly basis. And I believe in cash flow properties, so I will buy investment properties where we'll earn an income from the money that I receive from the tenant on a monthly basis. So I call it cash flow properties. And that is why I can retire today, is because I get a great income from my tenants. They pay me monthly. It's not dependent on the interest rates. It's not dependent on annuities. It's dependent on my rental tenant who will pay me that income on a monthly basis.
What kind of properties would you suggest people to invest in?
So I usually say to my clients, follow me. If they follow me, hopefully they won't make mistakes. So I don't invest in expensive properties. I invest in entry-level properties, because the expensive properties, if I invest in them, and let's say I was an investor out in the market and I get in trouble, what am I going to do? I'm going to, at the end of the day, sell that property, and I'm going to move into those entry-level properties. So for my properties that I have had in the last 20 years, I've never had a property that was standing empty for more than a month. There's always tenants for those properties because there's a huge demand for those kind of properties. So I invest in income-producing cash flow properties, and that's what I invest in.
So do you look at capital appreciation, or what do you look at?
I will always look at where the property is situated. So at the end of the day, that will make a difference on capital appreciation. But that's not my main focus. I focus on income producing properties that can produce myself a good cash flow over a 12-month period or 24-month period while I've got a tenant in there. So I look at those kind of properties. But it's always important to invest in the right location. So I will always say, go and look at the market where you want to invest in, look at the area where you want to invest in, because it's always, in property, it's always about location, location, location.
Okay, now I know the answer to the next question. If you had 2 million rand, would you invest it in a fund or property?
I will definitely invest it in property.
Yeah.
Because in a fund, you don't have control over that fund.
Yeah.
You don't know what they're doing with your money. So I would rather take that money, I will invest it in property where I will get a return of between 7 and 9% on that property, because I know in 3 or 4 years down the line, my investment the return that I will get on that investment will be between 10 and 20 and 30% at the end of the day. And that's where my properties are today. The ones that I've invested in 8-9 years ago is giving me a rental return of 17-18%. You can never get that in the bank. Never.
No, absolutely. Denis, really, once again, thank you so very much. You are an inspiration, and I know that whatever you put your hand to turns to gold. Thank you.
Thank you, Rochelle. It was awesome seeing you.